So something really exciting just happened. As you can see here, I've cleared two stage 21s in the gear raid section, which is really cool. And I am now in the top 0.1% in terms of the achievement. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, so I just beat gear raid 121 primarily with Boreas. I will show you guys. This is not exactly a guide, but this is just how I did it, and if you guys want to take notes or take any inspiration or anything, I hope that this is helpful. But anyways, let me go over the team really quick. I was lucky enough to pull Venoma very early on. Um, she's pretty cool. She was kind of a little bit useless because I didn't have any legendary Esotericists or even good Esotericists, but now with Boreas, she's actually really useful. I don't have her built like anything special. She's not really going to be placed at all. She's mostly for the sword bonus. It reduces faction ally skill cost, so it'll help Boreas a lot. You can use Raiden instead. I think Raiden might be the next epic shard fusion because he's the only normal epic, not including Vladoff, who he's the only one that hasn't had a shard fusion yet. Anyways, so also all allies rage on first deployment is increased by 30%. That works for everyone on your team. This is pretty cool. Um, she's not really going to be used too much though. Laurel, I have Invig on her. High rage regen, because I do use her in Guild Boss to invigorate a little bit. She also has damage increase whenever someone uses their ult when she's on the field. Um, and she has a decent ult, but I will mostly be using her for her promo 5. When you pull her back, she gives 50% rage regen. And now we get to the main damage dealer, the main man, Boreas. I do have him built alright. He has decent attack, good crit damage. I would like more crit rate, but the gear is not perfect. As you can see, this ring is really bad. I keep trying to reforge this thing, but it keeps not helping at all. It's really rough. But I did get these two ancients from the Gear Raid 2 farming event, which is pretty cool. Um, just some typical gear. There's a lot of room for improvement, but it works. Also, I was barely able to beat 1-20 because I didn't have his ultimate skilled very well or his auto thing. But the second it was finished, I could immediately beat 121. He's that broken. These skills are very important. I also got a tier of Twilight today, my third one, so I upgraded this one. It doesn't make a big difference, but it does help. Dolores, I have Invig and high attack. I would like more rage regen, but that's besides the point. I do have her A5. Oh yeah, I also have Boreas A1, which makes him freeze more often in his ultimate, but it's not important. And then more attack here. Pretty cool. Volka's never really going to be placed. She just has Invig because I use her in my guild boss team, and she's able to buff arrogance. And then I have Aeon. Aeon's pretty good for both buffing the cultists, and I also need her for this double vulnerability. I only really need the magic one, but she gets both, which is pretty cool. So I use her for the Lord skill, and for this, I do have just like some random artifact on her. She's not 4 damage basically. And then we get to our second damage dealer. Fierna is not really going to be doing too much damage on her own, but I will be using her primarily for her execute. So when Boreas will chunk the enemy's HP down to a very low amount, she'll just go in there and she'll clean up, basically. That's what she's there for. So I might not even like use her with Dolores. She'll be timed differently is what I mean. I do have her max killed. She was my primary damage dealer for 1-19 when I beat it a couple months ago, or like a month ago. I do have another tier of Twilight on her. It's not that important because she's not doing that much damage on her own. And then Hollow, it's primarily for guild boss, but she's really good at giving rage in this game mode too. About close to 600 speed. You don't need it to be that high, but it helps. Rage regen high, low attack. As long as she's able to keep them alive, the attack doesn't matter, as long as it's fairly low. I do have the horn. It's not that big of an impact depending on what artifact you use, but it's what I use. And then Vortex, I just have him to heal on the left side because I will be having my support on the left side, like Aeon, who is not at all tanky in any way and will die if I don't use Vortex. And then I have Oleg. Oleg's just built tanky, but I have him because I tried a couple things. I tried Mari and it didn't really work. I tried Alistair, but it felt scummy because he's bugged, and I should have a video on that soon. But he's bugged a lot to deal insane amounts of damage with his true damage. And then, but after I tried Silas and I lost to the boss on like 20% HP, so then I realized, wait, I could just put Oleg there. And I did, and it worked. So all we gotta do is clear the minions, and then when the boss comes out, Oleg won't die, and we win, basically. So anyways, what I like to do at the start, as we hop into this, is I like to wait until all the enemies are out, and then I put down Boreas because he has a deployment thing where he immediately does his auto, which is pretty cool. And then I like to place Vierna down later just in case, since I have 2 Invigs over here, in case Laurel somehow gives Vierna Invig, which she didn't, it would help a little bit with the damage, but I didn't get it there. It's not a big deal. You don't really need that to happen. But ideally you don't want Invig on your main damage dealer. Anyways, I pop Boreas and Dolores Ult. Generally, you do almost always want them together because Boreas is the main damage dealer and you should be ulting alongside. I pop Laurel ult because I'm not pulling her yet, and when the enemies get to low HP, I use Vienna and they all get executed. Honestly, I prefer Vienna over Comet for this stage. I don't have Comet, but I think I would rather have Vienna. Purely because she just complements him very well, instead of there being 2 heavy damage dealers. But anyway, so we place Aeon and Vortex. Make sure you have Vortex down. Laurel died, but that's not a big deal. I was going to pull her anyways. Because you do want to ult the damagey guys. It can get a bit tense if you leave them alive, so ideally you want to kill them. The goal is to kill every single wave when they come out. As you can see, I killed that one, and now this wave is out, and hopefully when Laurel comes back, I should be able to kill them again. Like the next wave, I mean. So I'll be placing this. I'm going to wait until Vierna ult, just so that she actually gets rage from when I pull Dolores. I'm going to put Dolores ult too. I mean, when I pull Laurel, sorry. Anyways, now we pop Boreas. I will be putting Venoma over here, purely for a little bit of damage, but she's not going to really do much. Just a heads up. Anyways, this wave will be taken down pretty easily because Boreas is the perfect damage dealer for the stage with its anti-heals and just high damage. But anyways, so I'm gonna Vierna ult here probably just to try to kill off a lot of these guys because I'm just noticing that they're about to die. And now I'm gonna pull Laurel, get Boreas up, and hopefully we can start dealing with this wave. This wave is by far the hardest part of the stage. As you see, the wall is almost completely up, but I might still lose because that's how hard this wave is. These minions are also classified as mini bosses, so Vierna does not execute them, which is a bit rough, but I will use her for a little bit of extra damage. Hopefully we can get Laurel up fast, and Boreas died. I'm going to redo this, come back, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back to where we were before. Boreas does sometimes die. When I did run this originally, Boreas never died or even got close, but for some reason whenever I'm recording, he does tend to die. But I just did the timing very slightly differently, not really too differently, but now I have a hollow ult up, sorry about that, and hopefully that will manage to make a difference. Same thing though, Boreas and Dolores together. Hope and pray that Boreas doesn't friggin' die. Hopefully we can kill the explodey guys, or he will die. I will be Vierna ulting here just to make sure. And yeah, we just keep putting out the damaging ults, the rage regenning, and the CC, and hope for the best. This wave is by far the hardest, obviously, and if you can get past this wave, the boss is pretty easy. But anyways, let's just go like this, and pop Dolores, and hope for the best. All you gotta do is hope and pray, and maybe you'll get it. Um, come on, Boreas, you could do it. It's getting very close, but I think we do have this because most of the minions are gone, and we have our let's just put him down now. We have our anti-boss tank, basically, purely to make it so the boss doesn't escape. And yeah, this is pretty much a win. Um, as you saw earlier, it is possible to lose still. This stage is not the easiest, but as long as you can keep Boreas alive and you keep your timings up, or I say Boreas, but as long as you keep your main damage dealer up, it's fine. Of course, these guys are trying to escape, so I do have Volca, so if that does happen, it shouldn't be the end of the world, but as you can see, not ideal. That didn't happen when I cleared it, but you can manage around it. The guy's getting pulled, but we should be fine. As you can see, the healers are healing Olog, and the boss can't do anything. So, that's pretty much it. This was a bit of a scuffed, a scuffed recreation, but I can't really help that. This stage is not easy at all, but it is easier than Gear Aid 3, at least for me. But yeah, hopefully this helped anyone, and this was at all useful, or at least entertaining. This was definitely not the best recording. But anyways, I'm gonna cut to the results at the end, but I'll see you guys there. Okay, the boss finally went down after like quite a few minutes, but we did complete it fully, with no leaks, I'm pretty sure, and here are the stats. As you can see, Boreas does more than triple Vierna's damage. Once again, Vierna is not really there for too much damage, only for her execute. Venoma's just there for a bit of supporting damage, but she doesn't really do too much. Boreas is the main star. He does amazing. Aeon's for debuffs. Oleg is there to tank the boss at the end. And then we got our healers, and then our damage. Pretty simple. Anyways, I hope this was helpful to anyone, or at least not the worst watch in the world. And I hope you all have a great day. Ciao.